Okay, hi everybody. Today is August 28th. It's Friday. This is Kelsey signing in again. Just gonna do a little quick video. Shoot a little quick video here for you to update you on what's going on. Shot the other video on the 26th, just a couple of days ago. The other video I showed you when I first started out with the video, I showed you this shirt. What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. Genesis 4:10, when God is talking to one of the early persons in the Bible. Cain, after he slew his brother Abel, because of dissatisfaction with his own circumstances, he took it out on Abel. And so I indicated to you that that same question is being asked to those who are out there committing crimes today, who are killing people. The killing of that little girl in St. Louis was particularly egregious to me. I can't explain why, but it touched me. I used to live in St. Louis at one time. I have relatives in St. Louis, as a matter of fact. So perhaps without me thinking about it subconsciously, maybe that's what brought all of this out. But people are tired, and I'm out here talking to people, canvassing, and so forth. I'm talking to people out on the streets with clipboard and so forth, telling them about the new concept, Chicago family. You know, we're citizens, true enough, citizens of Chicago. Citizenship means a lot to other people, especially those who are trying to become citizens of the United States. So I'm not trying to downplay the word citizen, because I know it means a lot to other people. But the word citizen does not carry with it the type of cohesiveness and family togetherness that the word family does. Chicago family says that to become a member of the Chicago family says, and we're going to basically state what it says. It's basically what we wanted to mean when you become a member of Chicago family. It says it doesn't make any difference what race you are, what class you are a member of a family of Chicagoans. And with that comes along certain responsibilities. That means you have a civic duty to become a good citizen, to refrain from crime and from destruction of other people's property. And that's about as much as we can ask. I mean, if you can do that, okay, then we definitely would hold you up as being a responsible Chicago family member. Okay? So, that being said, I also want to update you that I actually put the Chicago family concept, I've given it a home, a temporary home, on my website, AmericanWorkersForChange.us. And I just want to basically state that I just use that name, American Workers. The reason I named that website, AmericanWorkersForChange.us, is because I feel that the American worker, okay, has more influence than we give them credit for. The American worker is more than just a wage earner. Okay, we have the ability to affect change, social change here in this country with some of these crimes that's going on here. So that's kind of like why I use that term. I'm not a socialist. There was no ideological or political viewpoint connection with my choosing the website name AmericanWorkersForChange.us. And also I plan on donating a book. I did manage to get a publishing agreement with a publisher. I don't know what publisher I'm going to use at this point. But if in fact the book does get published, I want to donate the revenues from book sales to assist the American worker in some capacity. It could be funeral expenses, it could be transit expenses to get to funerals. So that's kind of like where that name came in at. Okay, and also getting back to the message about Cain. I talked to you about this early biblical character about Cain. You don't want to be Cain, okay? Cain was a person who was cut off from God and also cut off from mankind. Okay, when basically, in reality, Cain's life was worse than that of an animal. Okay? You people out here who are committing these crimes and murders, okay, particularly murders and shootings and stuff like that. On the one hand, you're afraid of God because you know He knows what you've done. And on the other hand, you're afraid of mankind, the police, or the loved ones, or families, or friends of somebody who you've harmed. That's a double fear. Even an animal only has fear of another animal or mankind. He doesn't have a fear of God. An animal doesn't have a fear of God because he has no consciousness that God exists. He has no awareness. As a human being, you have a higher thought process. You have been imbued with a higher ability to think. Okay? So, with that, all I'm saying is that by committing crimes, doing murders, and handling guns and that type of thing, you actually have a double fear. A fear of not being reconciled to God, and also a fear of mankind, either the authorities or somebody that you hurt along the way. Well, Kelsey, can it get worse than that? No! It can't get worse than that. What can be worse than being cut off from man, from being fearful of man and fearful of God? Even an animal has one fear of another animal, or mankind. Somebody might throw a brick at it, or beat him with a stick or mistreat him. But an animal has no consciousness of God. So you're living a terrible life. Don't be like Cain. That's all I got to say. You don't want to be like Cain. Okay? So the Chicago family concept has been given a home temporarily on that website, AmericanWorkersForChange.us. All you have to do is go there, and you see it in the right-hand side in the tab section. And by giving it a home, it's more now than just a fleeting concept or mere just words. You can be updated. You can see little short videos like this one and so forth. Yesterday I was out welcoming tourists to Chicago family, and they seem to appreciate that. Chicago family, what's that? And I told them, I said, well, we're working on having Chicagoans embrace a new viewpoint of how we view ourselves, and therefore how we represent ourselves to persons like yourself who come to visit us. Chicago family, we want to be closer, and we want to project to you that we're closer, okay, and have you have a more enjoyable stay here in Chicago right here. So another thing, and I asked you on the last website that I indicated to you that we need to embrace that same concept, that same togetherness, that same reality that brought the people of New Orleans together during Hurricane Katrina 10 years ago this very month in August of 2005. Okay? And some might say, and I lived in New Orleans after Katrina, and that was still crime. That was crime in the neighborhood that I lived in, for example. But does that somehow dissipate that togetherness that was found a few years ago when Hurricane Katrina happened and people had to rely on one another for sheer survival? No, it doesn't dissipate that because there was some crime that happened after that. People still remember what they had to do and how race meant nothing, how white people were rescuing black people and black people were rescuing Hispanic people who were down there, and everybody was just helping out. Okay, so it was a win-win situation then. It brought the city together. That time is still remembered. It's documented. I watched some of that documentation on Katrina last night. Saw people helping each other. There was a sense of togetherness. There was some frustrating times that occurred, such as at the Superdome, and the conditions were bad because it was so overcrowded and so forth. But even here in Chicago, if we become Chicago family, okay, and there's going to be some people out here who might rebel against it, who want to go out and do something crazy to say, hey, it doesn't work. No, you're not going to disrupt that. It's a win-win situation for us, because every time I go out, okay, and get a signature on this clipboard for people who want to join Chicago, become a member of Chicago family, And they said, that's simple enough. All I got to do is become a member and sign up. And I say, yeah, that's it. And agree to embrace this new idea that we're family and not just mere citizens. Okay? That's all you got to do. And they say, yeah. So I just want you to know, people are embracing the concept with open arms. I've got churches, there's businesses, where people can say, yeah, that's simple. I would like to become a Chicago family member. There's individuals. I got another person now helping out on the south side. So this is a win-win situation. Every time we get a signature from a church or from a business or from an individual or from a family that says, yes, we're winning. There's nothing that you can do to disrupt this. You can create and all the mayhem and havoc that you want. We're going to win. Okay? What we hope to do is convert you. We don't want to be at odds with you. We want to bring you into the family and stop committing these crimes and these murders, because we've had enough. Okay? So with that, I think I'm going to close. I don't want this video to be too long. Oh, and by the way, I replaced the t-shirt, and this is something you can do wherever you are. I replaced this with a piece of cardboard, just a little small piece of cardboard that basically says the same thing on the t-shirt. The question that God asked Cain, what hast thou done? Thy brother's, the voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. Okay? Genesis 4:10. So you can actually put that on a little piece of cardboard, and you can go out with your clipboard and start signing up some members in your city. Okay? My website is on there. My website, my telephone number, my email is on there. Contact me and see if we can put the cities together, okay, and get this going. We done had enough of this crime, and we're going to do something about it one way or another, okay? So when I say one way or another, I'm talking about with ideas and concepts like this. We're not resorting to crime, okay, any kind of way. So, all right, with that, I'm going to sign out. God bless you. God bless your home. God bless your city. Okay, God bless your church. All right, bye-bye. All right, bye-bye.